December 20th, 1943. High above Germany, the air is thin and brutally cold. Inside the cockpit of a B-17 flying fortress named Olde Pub, Second Lieutenant Charles Brown fights for control. His shoulder throbs with a fresh wound, a stark reminder of the flak that just tore through his aircraft. His tail gunner, Sergeant Hugh Eckenrode, is gone. Others in his crew are wounded, some gravely. They are alone, lagging behind their formation, a bleeding animal separated from the herd. The bomber is a wreck, one engine dead, another sputtering. German fighters had descended like wolves, ripping the tail to shreds, shattering the nose cone, and severing the bomber's vital systems. Through gaping holes in the fuselage, the sky screams past. Yet somehow this tough old bird keeps flying. The war in the skies over Europe is at its peak. Every day, vast formations of American and British bombers darken the German horizon, their mission to cripple the Third Reich's industrial heart. For the crews, each mission is a roll of the dice. The 8th Air Force's strategy of daylight precision bombing is costly, pitting the heavily armed but relatively slow B-17s against the Luftwaffe's swift and deadly fighters. The target this day is a Focke-Wulf aircraft plant in Bremen, a critical artery of German war production. For the men of the 379th Bombardment Group, it's a mission deep into enemy territory, a place where survival is measured in seconds and inches. The air is a three-dimensional battlefield, filled with exploding flak shells and the crisscrossing trails of machine gun fire. For every bomber that reaches its target, the journey back is a gauntlet of relentless attacks. It is in this cauldron of violence and terror that acts of desperation, and sometimes unexpected humanity, are forged. Olde Pub had made its bomb run, but the price was devastating. The initial anti-aircraft fire had crippled it, making it a slow, tempting target for the swarm of fighters that followed. The German pilots, seasoned and defending their homeland, see a lone, struggling bomber as an easy victory. For them, this is not just combat. It's a desperate defense against an aerial onslaught that is leveling their cities. On this particular day, one of those pilots is Oberleutnant Franz Stigler. A veteran with 27 confirmed victories, he is an ace in one of the Luftwaffe's most prestigious fighter wings. His job is simple: destroy the enemy. Each bomber shot down is a blow to the Allied war effort and a potential reprieve for the civilians on the ground. When Olde Pub limps near his airfield, Stigler refuels and takes off, another kill seemingly guaranteed. This is the brutal calculus of war, a detached professional duty. The American crewmen are not men with families and futures. They are simply the enemy, occupants of a machine of war that must be brought down. Stigler climbs into the winter sky, his Messerschmitt Bf-109 a predator closing in on its wounded prey, fully intending to deliver the final fatal blow. Pain, blood loss, and oxygen starvation overwhelm Charlie Brown. He blacks out. The bomber, its pilot unconscious, begins a slow, deadly spiral towards the earth. The ground rushes up to meet them. Miraculously, Brown comes to just a few hundred feet from impact. He hauls on the controls, his muscles screaming in protest, and somehow levels the mangled aircraft. Pointing the nose west, he sets a desperate course for England, 250 miles of hostile territory and freezing ocean away. He can't climb above 1,000 feet. It's then that he sees it. A German Messerschmitt Bf-109, sliding into formation beside him. It's so close he can see the pilot's face. The German gestures pointing insistently towards the ground, a clear command to land immediately. Brown's gunners are wounded, their weapons silent. He can only stare back and shake his head. No. The Messerschmitt hovers there for a moment that stretches into an eternity, then peels away, positioning itself above and behind the bomber. Brown and his crew brace for the cannon fire that will tear them apart. But the shots never come. Instead, an unbelievable realization dawns on Charlie Brown. The German fighter isn't attacking, it's escorting them. As they approach the German coast, a terrifying prospect for a low, slow bomber, the Bf-109 sticks with them, a silent, menacing guardian angel. Anti-aircraft batteries on the ground would see an American bomber under escort by one of their own fighters and likely hold their fire, confused by the strange sight. The B-17 crosses the coastline and heads out over the unforgiving North Sea. Only then does the German fighter slide in close one last time. Brown looks across at the enemy pilot. The German meets his gaze, raises a gloved hand in a slow, deliberate salute, and then banks his aircraft away, disappearing back towards the east. Stunned, Brown focuses on the impossible task ahead. He manages to land Olde Pub, not at his home base, but at an RAF airfield in Norfolk. He and every member of his crew, except for Sergeant Eckenrode, have survived. At the debriefing, Brown recounts the incredible story of the German pilot who spared them. The tale is met with disbelief, and then a command decision. It is to be kept secret. An honorable German ace didn't fit the wartime narrative. The story was buried. Charlie Brown finished his tour, returned home, and lived a full life, eventually retiring from the Air Force as a colonel. But the memory of that day, of the pilot who held his life in his hands and chose mercy, never left him. Decades later, in 1986, he finally shared the story publicly. Many questioned it, wondering if the trauma of the event had distorted his memory. Doubt began to creep into his own mind. He had to know the truth. Brown embarked on a 4-year quest to find the anonymous pilot, a search for the man who had become a ghost in his past. The answer arrived in 1990, in a letter from a man named Franz Stigler, living in Canada. "I was the pilot," he wrote. Stigler explained that as he had closed in on Olde Pub that day, he saw the true extent of the damage. He could see the dead tail gunner, the wounded crew, the shredded fuselage. He later said he had never seen an aircraft so badly damaged still in the air. A guiding principle from his commanding officer echoed in his mind. You follow the rules of war for you, not for your enemy. You fight by the rules to keep your humanity. For Stigler, shooting down the defenseless bomber would have been no different from shooting a man in a parachute. He couldn't do it. He had tried to guide them to land for their own safety. When Brown refused, Stigler made his extraordinary choice. He would shield them from his own side's guns. He never spoke of the incident. Such an act would have been considered treason punishable by death. For nearly 50 years, he wondered if the bomber had ever made it home. The discovery was astonishing for both men. For decades, they had lived less than 200 miles apart. Brown in Seattle, Stigler in Vancouver. They finally met. Two old warriors connected by a single moment of clemency in the midst of total war. The bond was immediate. They became the closest of friends, like brothers, sharing their story with pilots and historians, a testament to a shared code of honor that transcended national loyalties. Their story is more than just a remarkable wartime anecdote. It's a profound reminder that even in the darkest of conflicts, individual choices matter. It reveals that the line between friend and foe is drawn by uniforms and ideologies, but the core of our shared humanity can, on rare occasions, erase it completely. The encounter between Charlie Brown and Franz Stigler stands as a powerful symbol of chivalry, a flicker of light in the vast, violent darkness of war, proving that even when ordered to be enemies, men can choose to be brothers. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you found this story as moving as we did, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales from history. We'll see you next time.